if you look at these beings, I mean, most of the beings that people have talked about seeing, most of them are short in stature, big heads, small bodies. You know, sometimes they're only four digits on each hand, 3 digits. The thing that I saw when I was a kid, it was 3 digits as far as I could tell. It was the thing that I saw had 3 fingers that were like thicker at the bottom, and it came to almost points, and it was a smaller palm than a human palm, and a thin arm. Now I didn't see the thing's face, so I really don't know. I'm assuming that attached to that arm was a giant head with big eyes. But anyway. And if you want to learn about that, I've talked about that, of course, numerous times in other podcasts. But you look at these things, most of them, like sometimes there are more regular-sized humans, or regular-sized aliens that are very similar to humans. Travis Walton, when he was abducted in 1975, he reported that in addition to little beings, there was actually a taller being there that would have passed for somebody in the street. And there's all sorts of different descriptions. I think that's because there are all sorts of different kinds of aliens coming here. It's obvious, but many of them, it would seem to me that a majority of these things are short in stature. They look like they weigh a lot, and they have big heads with big eyes. I mean, that's the bottom line. So it makes me wonder. At some point, did these things in their evolutionary during their evolution, did it seem at some point were they different? Were they more like us? Is this where evolution has brought them? Or is that where we're heading? Or is the human race heading to that? I mean, if you look at a picture of you see these pictures hanging on walls in biology class. And you'll see, the different evolutionary stages of humankind. And you'll see like a Neanderthal, and it just keeps advancing into what we are today. It's going to keep advancing. It was advancing. It advanced to this point where we are now, and it's going to keep on advancing beyond that point. So you wonder, where are we heading? Are we heading to become, 3.5 foot tall, 4 foot tall, weak appearing, light-weighted, big-headed, big-eyed, beings like these things that, people get abducted by on this planet, that are coming here from other planets? Is that where we're heading? Is that maybe? We are evolving. It's just like wisdom. There was a time in humankind's evolution where at one point, everyone had wisdom teeth. Now there's people who are born without wisdom teeth. Some people are born with only, like I was only born with 3 wisdom teeth. I had to get them all pulled because they were causing infections in my mouth. There's some people born with just 2 wisdom teeth. So we're evolving away from wisdom teeth. So what's next? I mean, there's other things that we're going to be evolving away from. So are we going to become what they are? Are we going to become, at some point, are we going to look like these beings? It's interesting to wonder. I mean, we're talking probably, if that's going to happen, we're talking 500,000 million years into the future. But I don't know. Possibly, if that's how they evolved, I don't know. I mean, what did they look like, millions of years ago, compared to what they look like now? Did they look like us? Who knows? I don't know. But it's possible, and it could be likely actually that we're going to evolve into something similar to that, which makes me wonder. I was actually reading some of Jacques Vallée literature recently. Some of his books. I was reading, Forbidden Science, and actually Jacques Vallée, of course, if you've never heard of him, he's a very famous French ufologist, scientist. He's still on the scene after many, many years. He's in his 80s now, and you see him on YouTube, and he's still, plugging away. He's still plugging away at this thing. And I remember reading something that he wrote, in one of these books, that he speculated that maybe the beings coming here are actually us, from the future. I mean, I don't personally believe that, but it doesn't make me right. That could be, the things that are coming here could be us from the future. I mean, if time travel into the past is possible, I guess that could be the case. But who knows? Who knows? I actually think though that there are many variety of different beings coming here, and and I think that at some point, they look at us like, and we are like, to them, we're still Neanderthals. We're still Neanderthals. I talked about this before, but are we going to turn into them? That's what I'm putting forth right now. Are we going to turn into them at some point during this evolutionary process? I don't know that's if we make it. I mean, we got to get through. We're going through some hard times right now. We're at a turning point in our existence. Actually, we're violent, and we have weapons that we have atomic weapons, nuclear bombs. I mean, we might wipe each other out. We might the whole thing might be done before we even have a chance. Climate change is getting worse all the time, as we can see in the news, all the time, with the fires and the hurricanes. The oceans are rising. It's just getting worse and worse, and there's nothing. Too many people are more worried about greed and their own personal profit and living for the moment rather than being concerned about the future. So I just don't know. I don't know. I mean, we're at a point now where either, if greed wins, then we're done. I mean, if greed continues to win and we have these rich people controlling everything and just they don't care about the planet, or the way, they don't care about climate change, and they just keep doing things that make it worse, then if greed wins, the human race loses. If the human race wins, well, that means greed's going to have to take a hit, and I just don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know. It would be nice. I'm rooting for the human race. I want the human race to succeed. I want people to live. I want the future to be bright for the next generations to come. And I want greed to lose. I really do. And I think everybody should. I would really hope that a vast majority of people out there would agree with me.